Hi guys, and welcome back to It's a Heart Thing. Once again, my name is Cynthia, and today the subject I want to talk about is, and it's a statement, and I've kind of used this statement throughout my life whenever encountering people that there were things that felt not quite right. And the statement is that I have drama, therefore I am. This statement, a lot of people we don't want to recognize and we don't want to accept, but this exists in more folks' lives than they are willing to let on. There's one thing I want to read, and once again, I'm going to go from books that I have because I've done a lot of studying throughout, and so this is one of those things that I kind of go to different books and try to explain the concept and then just kind of elaborate on it. So the book that I'm going to pull some stuff from today is Eckhart Tolle's, and it's The New Earth. And God, you remember when this book came out, those of you. So this book has a lot of good stuff in it. But the one thing I want to speak on, and I just want to kind of talk about that phrase, I have drama, therefore I am. What does that really mean? So page 59, and the chapter 3 is called The Core of the Ego. And let me just read this to you. It says, most people are so completely identified with the voice in their head, that incessant stream of involuntary and compulsive thinking and the emotions that it accompanies, that we may describe them as being possessed by their mind. As long as you are completely unaware of this, you take the thinker to be who you are. This is the egoic mind. So with the ego, in order for the ego to remain relevant, in order for the ego to exist, it has to have something that is opposite of it, that it opposes. The ego can't exist just by itself. So if something has to be the opposite of it, then it's not the same. It is different. And we all know that when people don't understand other people or see them as different, they do not have tolerance for them. So with this egoic mind, it's like, where you're different, I oppose you. There is something about you that's not like me. And how this it shows up in our lives, and I just kind of want to read something again from Eckhart Tolle's book, and it's on page 61. It says, complaining is one of the ego's favorite strategies for strengthening itself. Every complaint is a little story that the mind makes up that you completely believe in. Whether you complain out loud or only in thoughts makes no difference. Some egos that perhaps don't have much else to identify with easily can survive on just complaining alone. When you are in the grips of such an ego, complaining, especially about other people, is habitual and of course unconscious, which means you do not know what you are doing. And he goes on to say, but when I criticize or condemn another, it makes me feel bigger, superior. So that's how the ego feeds itself. It has to go in and feel superior or bigger than someone else. It could be, and it's funny because people say, well, I don't really do that. I'm pretty fair. But take a particular example like this, and I think it's in the book, where he says that you may not do it with intent, but you may go in and someone say, hey, I remember seeing this movie, and in that movie, this happened. And you knowing that it didn't happen, and say you're in front of a lot of people and you come up and say, well, no, that didn't happen. I saw the movie and this is actually what happened. That right there is just a little bit of ego coming out, because now you have the knowledge. You are superior. You made that person feel less than. So that whole I have drama, therefore I am, is that essence of feeling like, pinch me. Is this real? I'm alive. I feel as if I have now made myself relevant. Now, with this whole ego and, trying to get past it, what I tell people, there's two ways that you can do this. One is to recognize it in yourself. And when you go in and you recognize it in yourself, you actually have to almost become outside of yourself. You have to watch you. You have to watch what you're saying. You have to say, when I did that, what did I gain from it? And what did the other person gain? As they say, do unto others as you want done unto yourself. You know that old saying? Yeah. So what I gained from it and what they gained from it, was it the same? Did we both gain something good from it? Or did I get something that made me feel superior and made the other person feel inferior? And when dealing with people who have an ego that comes at you like that, and you're like, okay, and this is a hard one. How do I respond? Do I react? Or do I maintain some type of control and ignore it? And I want to say in the book, Eckhart talks about it, and I thought it was so beautiful how he spoke of it. And this here is also in that chapter 3, page 62. And this is a really good concept. He says, non-reaction to the ego and others is one of the most effective ways, not only of going beyond ego in yourself, but also of dissolving the collective human ego. And that collective human ego is something that we've packed into our mind. Your ego is based on a collection of memories. What happened when you were a child, your race, your religion, your social, economic stance in the world, your appearance, what your parents told you, and it just kept moving forward down generation after generation, and you held that belief as something that is real and valid, but it really had nothing to do with you. So this is where the ego builds its strength. And when you recognize that and you know that, then only can you, like I said, step out of yourself, look at yourself and recognize, I felt some type of benefit, but once again, how did my fellow friend, family member, colleague, how did they feel when I made that statement? He goes on to talk about, and this was another good one, he says how to get yourself from being caught up in someone else's ego. He said another word for non-reaction, when he said, go in and non-reaction, another word for non-reaction is forgiveness. To forgive is to overlook. To forgive is to overlook, or to rather look through. And when he said it's to overlook or to look through, that look through just resonated with me so much. It's like I am now being able to know that that is not you. That is your ego. I'm not taking it personally. I know that you're coming from your head. But yet and still, what you did and how you responded to me with your dramatic response or your dramatic behavior, I felt that. Yeah, I felt it. But now I am going to be non-reactive, and I'm going to look through you. I am going to go beyond this physical person and know that that ego is not who you are. That is that unconscious mind where you are caught up in a cycle. You're in a cycle and you are just repeating and repeating and repeating. So what I say to you guys is that, and that old word that, the old phrase that, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I would say, look at that and think about when you do something and you feel good in that moment, but think about the other person. and if you were on the receiving end. And that way you can step outside of this egoic mind, this I, this me. You did this to me. I felt this. I know you don't care. I know you, I know, or me. Me, why did you do that to me? When you can step out of that, then and only then can you become conscious and be in the now and be in the present and be able to manifest and be here, be now, be in the present. So I hope that this conversation that we're having gave you a little insight. There's so much more I can say about this, and I'm sure I will later on. But I once again want to say thank you for coming and taking a listen. Once again, I'm Cynthia. It's a hard thing, and I wish you love, peace, and a whole lot of light. Thank you, guys.